Hey y'all, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey guys, how are you all? Hi, so glad to be back here with you. Hey, hey y'all. Hey roommates. Hello there. As you come in, say hello. Good to see you all. Happy to be back. Say hello as you come in. Hello. Hey roommates. Hey y'all. We are back. We are back. We are back. And I am excited to be here per usual. Hey Amanda. Boy, you got a story to tell. I can't wait to have you on the pod. I love you so much. I'm praying for you always. Hey Danny. Look at my girls up in this joint. Hey y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Hey best friend. I see you per usual. Thank you for joining. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Guys, I got to be transparent. I got to be because, first of all, I did not send y'all an invitation to the to our roommate meeting tonight. So I apologize. It has been so much going on, but I have been studying. I have been, in the right frame of mind so that I am able to come here and be with you all. So thank you all so much. Sorry about not getting our invitation out. It's been one hell of a week, and I'll tell y'all about it when I see some of y'all in person. Hey cousin, hey Tamika Jones. Thank you so much. I guess we could probably start there. We got our first swag bag flew out last week. Yes, we did. My cousin Tamika, she hit me up and she was like, "Listen, I want some of the Rumor Has It gear," and she got a tumbler, right, and a t-shirt. And I obviously threw a couple of other things in there for her too, because ain't nothing like support. She did not have to come and say, send me this. I want to support you. How much is it? Without question, without ask, she asked for that. So, y'all, we got some Rumor Has It swag that they went to Arizona, y'all. Let me not forget that part, right? She is in Arizona. Hey, Breezy, love you, girl. And so I hope you win, or at least sipping, cousin, out of your Rumor Has It tumbler, because y'all know I keep man posted here, just because it's important for us to highlight and showcase who we are and what we're doing. So welcome back. We have made it to episode 5, and I have got to tell you, the enemy has been busy on me because he wants to hush me up. He want me to be done with this already. And it's funny because I told somebody the other day, like, it's mine, it's stressful, but I'm sticking beside it. Like, we stick beside so many things and so many other things that probably doesn't even serve any purpose at all. And on this platform, I know that we are serving a purpose and doing the things that we are supposed to be doing with uplifting, right? So let's start always with our roommates updates for the week, right? Between what happened last week and today. I'm going to always kind of give you guys that as it relates to Rumor Has It. Because you all are my roommates and you deserve to hear about our stuff. So, after episode 4, you know, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going well. We are having a good time. Our roommates are very interactive, and it is so much, like, I care about that so much that we're going to always bring it to the forefront about what it is that we've done for each other, for this platform, and what we intend to do futuristically, right? So, we reached, y'all ready? Somebody got to do the drum roll. Put the drum in the thing. Hey, Disby, how are you? Yes, a blessing. Hey, Pat, the enemy. Yes, he cannot control God's purpose. Thank you for that, Pat. You have no clue. I need those affirmations because though I've sat here week after week, this episode was the most challenging to come back to because of the recurring negative thoughts that no one wants to hear about this. So it definitely is appreciated, the kind words and the words of encouragement. I definitely need them. Keep them coming. Keep me in your prayers. So Tamika have done the drum roll. We did over 1.1 thousand views in less than 24 hours last week when we aired. So I already know. Somebody called me or texted me and was like, listen, you should have 6 new followers. You should have 5 new followers. You should have 3 new subscribers because you all are carrying this torch with me. And 1.1 thousand views in less than 24 hours is wild work. My mind, I was the mind blown emoji because people are viewing the content and people are tuned in. So thank you. Yes. Hey, Auntie Annette. So that is definitely a plus and some kudos. So thank you guys for that. We are creeping closer every week to our goal of going live on YouTube. Please subscribe to Rumor Has It YouTube channel if you have not. And if you have, notify your friends and notify your family members because this is only going to get better. The more we do this, the more I'm comfortable in this space, the more we are dialoguing together, the more we will grow as a platform. Remember, our goal is to go global, right? So continue to tell your people. Rumor Has It is on all platforms. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I think I even have a thread. Even though we don't go live there, we are putting content in those spaces. Okay. So the other thing is people have been asking, when do we do this? And I want to officially let everyone know that it is Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. So we've gone live all 5 weeks so far. And thank you, Marquita. All 5 weeks. But due to some travel and stuff that I got coming up, I know for a fact I'm going to have to do some pre-recordings and upload them. But either I go live at 7:30 on Tuesdays, or we'll be uploading at 7:30 on Tuesdays. Hey, Raquel, thank you for joining. So that's where we at, Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. If anything changes, obviously I will have a vote for our roommates because we want to make sure that everything is right for all of us, right? So cool. So the last thing I want to say, but certainly not least, some of you guys have joined me all 5 weeks. And for that, I am grateful because I know that you can be anywhere in the world on these nice summer nights. Though we'll go into the other seasons that are coming up, you guys have stopped your Tuesday evenings to be here with me, and many of you guys stay with me from the beginning to the end. So with that being said, I do have some surprise gifts coming from some of you all, and I am taking note. So for those of you who have been here with me week after week, I got some for you guys. Wink, wink. Promise you I do. So don't be surprised when I DM and ask you where you at or where I can pull up at so that I can bless you for blessing me. Okay? So you guys didn't get the invitation, so you guys do not know what we're talking about tonight. And a part of that have been me really trying to decide what are we going to talk about and what should I bring forth. So I'm taking it back to questions from the beach. And that was when we did our launch back in late July. We did our launch, and we said that we would take questions, right, from our INs and from our DMs and in person to see what it is that people want to talk about. So tonight's topic is brought to you all by questions from the beach. But before we go any further, y'all know I have to give y'all our affirmation of the day. Now, our affirmation of the day is brought to you by my shirts, as it has been every week that we've joined, or at least for 3 out of the 5 weeks. And I want to let you guys know that I get these affirmation shirts from a website called God is Dope. And you guys probably have heard it or seen them pop up on your timeline. I am not being paid for them. I may at them because they do always have a message on their shirts. So with that being said, tonight's affirmation is stop expecting people to love you like God does. Stop expecting people to love you like God does, right? And that's our affirmation of today. That also, I'm going to reference it again in our closing segment because we got to be mindful of that. The goal is to go global. Hey, Isha. Pat says the goal is to go global. It's already in motion. Now you just need to step into it with unwavering faith. Success is already yours. Congratulations on going global, Mick. God did. Now, Pat, I do. You see some napkins right here? Come on now. That's a word from a gentleman that understands and knows me on so many different levels. And I will believe that he believes in what we're doing here. He's here with us tonight. So thank you, Pat. That means more to me than you will ever know. Big hugs and kisses when I see you. Hey, Fave. Hey, Arthelia. Thank you for joining. So Tamika put the drum roll about 5 minutes ago. So I'll go ahead and tell y'all. Tonight's topic of discussion is going to be assigned or attached. How do we know that the people that we are interacting with, that we have in our lives, that are there with us doing whatever times or whatever part of our journey that we are on, how do we know and understand if a person is assigned to us or attached to us? Now, I know, like y'all know, I've seen a few reels where people have kind of talked about this attachment versus assignment thing, and it's real. And it resonated in me so much that I said, I have to put my spin on it, right? So that me and my roommates can talk about what it is that means the most to us. So, yes, Aisha, it is definitely a difference between those who are attached to us and those we are assigned to. And that can go either way. I want to be very clear. It's not always about who is assigned to us. Sometimes it's who are we assigned to or who are attached to us. Tonight it's about who are we attached to. And then we just take that in and figure, certain things out. Okay? So without further ado, we will kind of get into what a person being assigned to us versus a person being attached to us actually means. Yes, it is very important to know. So, I'm always start this situation off with biblically based word, right? So regarding attachments, the Bible tells us that Jesus calls attachments the lusts of the flesh. In 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 through 17, we're reminded that attachments are lusts of the flesh, essentially referring to them as distractions, right? Think about those things or those people that we are attached to, and how, if we're attached to something that is not meant for us, how it can completely be a distraction. Because some things are additives in our lives, and that's where the assignment part is going to come in at, right? We will talk about how the addition of value to your life when you are in congregation with people that are assigned to you versus people who are attached to you. So, again, regarding attachments, the Bible calls them lusts of the flesh, and essentially they are distractions to us. But in contrast, Psalm 139, 15 through 16 teaches us that assignment is the progressive unraveling or separation and attainment of our primary calling in life. Assignment blesses the world with our worth and our quality and our personhood, and attracts others to us to follow our inspiration. I know that was a mouthful, because it was a mouthful for me. But essentially what that is saying to us is that's good, yep. Essentially what that is saying to us is that anything that we are assigned to, it separates us, whether momentarily, temporarily, or eternally, from those distractions that we just talked about, so that we can attain what it is that we're seeking in our assignments, right? And also it helps us to understand the quality of our personhood, the person that you are, and what attracts others to our inspiration. I wake up every single day trying to figure out how I can inspire others. I don't want to be a distraction to anyone. I don't want to be a burden on anyone. And when and if we start to plant those seeds in our mindset, we start to see the difference in how we are approaching people, things, and situations, whether it is based on attachment or assignment. Once we learn to realize that everything that comes to us does not necessarily have to go or grow through us, right? We have to understand that it is our purpose on this earth that defines how we perceive the world and how the world perceives us. But we have to also be willing to take all of that in, own it, and then display it back to the world, right? So that's really deep, if you ask me. Recently I started reading, and I'm going to show you guys. Recently I started reading this book, and you all may or may not be able to see the title of it, but I'll tell you what it is. So this book is called The Inner Work, an invitation to true freedom and lasting happiness. I got to admit, guys, this book is blessing me in ways that I never thought possible. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about being on that journey of healing and understanding that we had to accept people for who they are and who they present to be, and not who we want them to be. We hear all the time, stop expecting a you in people, right? Expect people to be exactly who they are, and then it really honestly it shuts down all of those areas of disappointment that can be evoked from those from when we have expectations for people that are not assigned to us. It can be difficult, and it can be tough to navigate, especially when you love and care for someone, right? I love you too, my love. So this book is by authors Matthew Micheletti and Ashley Cottrell. And they talk about attachment in the book as well. And they pretty much say that attachments bring aversions, right? So that's your detours. And keep us unfocused outside of ourselves. So the aversions take our focus from the inner work that we need to do for ourselves to be okay for the world. And it also helps us understand that we are stuck in a perpetual cycle of wanting happiness rather than actualizing it. Have you ever yearned something or somebody so much that in realizing you cannot actualize what it is you want or need from them, and they're unable to show up in the way for you that you are expecting, that all it does is put you kind of like in a dampened mold, right? It puts you in a place of doubt. It puts you in a place of unrest. It puts you in a place of insecurity. So what this book is teaching me is that you have the right, you have the wherewithal to attain happiness outside of the external things. And we talked about that. Because if we place our happiness and or our assignment, which is what we're talking about tonight, which could be your goals, which could be your dreams, which could be your aspirations, which could be those things that you are trying to break free from. If we place that trust of wanting and desiring that in the hands of others, we're doomed from the start. We have to learn to manifest it within ourselves and then to portray it to the world in the way that we know how to, without flaunting, without being prideful, but being matter of fact about it. Stand on the things that you want in your life. Stand on the people that you want in your life. Stand on the belief that you have the choice to choose who has a say, an invitation, an action in your life. It's yours. Take ownership of that, right? So simply put, when we hold on to attachments that do not serve us, we're generally finding ourselves on grounds of yearning, right? Or wishing for our desires rather than working to make them a reality. That's good. Because think about wanting something and then think about pursuing something. Two totally different things. Two totally different things. When you want to desire something, it's almost like a wish. Oh my God, I wish this would happen for me. But when you are standing in your purpose and standing in your assignment, you understand that anything you put your mind to, God will bring it to. So understand that you hold that power. And that's what this book, The Inner Work, is teaching me. Though I knew it, and that's why I'm thankful for asking for and hearing the word of God, because everything that I do here is based on that. And I wasn't going to say this, but I am going to say it because it's going to help everybody involved. Someone came from a great place with giving me feedback. Over these weeks, this feedback means more to me than you could ever know. But someone told me, like, be careful talking about God so much because you may shoo off people who would rather be there to support you. And think about the religion of others where it could maybe turn others off. This is a disclaimer, but this is a proud disclaimer. This isn't a religious platform, but this is a platform where God is going to be honored and praised. Because I am nothing without him. And I have come to the realization that what I do is not going to be for everybody. I might be spewing tea where somebody else may want lemonade, and that's fine. This is a platform for people that want to be here. You guys have logged in, you guys have signed in, you guys have been interactive, you guys have been extraordinarily good to me in support on this platform, and I will not waver from acknowledging God for who he is in my life. Right? So when it's something that you are wanting or seeking out of attachment that you cannot get, it's simply because the attachment may not be your assignment. This goes for love. This goes for respect. This goes for growth. This goes for opportunity. This goes for even peace of mind. When you are trying to figure out your purpose and you need to understand who your tribe is, you have better understand attachment and assignment. Because not everybody in your life is meant to be there. We talk about the seasons and the reasons and the stuff like that. And I personally believe in that stuff, guys. And I want you guys to drop in the chat, what does your attachment or being attached to someone mean to you? And what does being assigned to someone mean to you? Because we're getting ready to jump on up in this thing. You know, I give you guys a lot of disclaimers, but I do want to get in the thick of things. Hey, Queen, I love you too. So we're going to do some definitions. Y'all know I love a good old definition. Anyone, and I think I just said this, anyone who is wrongly attached to you will eventually detach from you. And this is typically indicative of when a relationship has outgrown its course. We are born into the family that we are born into. We are friends with the people we've chosen to be friends with. We work on the job that we signed up for, interviewed for, and we signed up to take that position after it was offered to us. But that does not mean that that is supposed to last a lifetime, right? So when you think about the attachment of others to you, what do you think about? Attachment can mean that I can provide assignment in what God wants for me. I like that, Arthelia, because now you're making attachment work for you. You are saying, listen, though you are only here for this season, I can gather from this what is going to be beneficial for me in my long haul, which is my assignment. I sit here today on assignment. I can talk to you guys from a clinical perspective, being a professional in the world of clinical social work for many years. But I come to you tonight and every Tuesday night on assignment. Pat says that ultimately a spiritual connection is felt deeply and often reflects a sense of alignment with your higher self or purpose. It's about the energy and bond you share, which transcends the physical and taps into something more profound, the subconscious. Now, I don't know if Pat is a third co-writer on the Inner Works book, but that is precisely, like, that is on the money. You can desire whatever it is that you want right here and right now. But understanding that the energy that we draw from situations and draw from circumstances, it can completely be what is going to transcend us to the next level. See, I have a lot of experience, both personally and professionally, to sit here before you week after week. And because of that, I'm able to transcend our platform to something that is helpful to others when they don't even know the answers. And guess what? I semi-know the answers because of experience and because of studying. But I also know and understand that I don't know most of the answers, and I'm okay with living in my attachment to understand my assignment, but also not allowing it to take me off of my journey of fulfilling my life's purpose, right? Tamika says, yep, mine definitely outgrew, and since I let go, I've been so much better mentally, physically, and emotionally. Remember when we come in the house with our groceries? We got 14 bags on this arm and 10 on the other. And we are simply trying to get in the house to drop these bags to get this load off of us. Though someone may only be attached to you and not assigned to you, to understand what that load means for you, I'm going to continue on this metaphoric response with the groceries. Knowing that I got to go to the store, I got to carry this load with me to get it in the house, to load it in the refrigerator, but my assignment is to feed my children. So the attachment makes sense because it's going to be beneficial down the road in some capacity or another. So please know that your attachments, though they may expire, that they are not null and void, because it is on your route and on your journey of assignment. So you don't lose yourself in those minute things or those things that may irritate you until you get to a place of that height of, I've gotten what I need to get from this. We've all heard, that's a lesson, a blessing, or somebody else drop it real quick. Lesson, blessing, or I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. But remember, even in the situation, even in the relationship that comes to an end, that no longer serves you any good purpose, never negate or never talk about the things that have gotten you through that relationship and what you learned from that relationship. I became better emotionally when I start to accept people for who they are and what they bring to our relationship. And that's not minimized. I can't minimize that, because some of my most daunting relationships have led to some of the best wisdom that I have today. Right? So we talking, right? But let me go on and give you guys a semi reality check. When someone is assigned to you, they can't leave, even if they want to. They cannot leave. You know why they can't leave? Because they're assigned to you. It is divine order that you are to be there with me. And I know week after week you guys hear me, speak about my best friend and some of the people that are in my life. But I have got to tell you, I couldn't do this. I couldn't sit here. I couldn't even be this understanding without understanding how people affect my life on its day to day. And guys, I'm hoping I'm not missing. I see a lot of hearts, and I'm hoping I'm not missing any of your comments. Tamika, your comment is the last one I see on there. But it is some people that are in my life that I don't ever have to worry with will they leave. That it is never a doubt in my mind, will you leave me? Because those who are assigned to you, they can't leave even if they want to. Because there's something there that have to drive them being there. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. But let's look at the flip side of that. Let's look at when someone is attached to you. When someone is attached to you, but there isn't an assignment attached to the relationship, they can leave because, simply put, they can't stay. They don't know how to stay. And you don't even know how to allow them to stay. When you start to do that inner work in your life, and when you start to recognize that, okay, wait a minute, what am I doing here? What am I to gain for this? If you're not gaining something, then it's not serving a purpose in your life. And gainful employment, let's just do another metaphoric. Gainful employment is just that. I'm employed, I am able to provide for my family, I'm able to be here and put food on my table. But gainful employment doesn't mean doesn't mean assigned employment. It doesn't mean that you are living and working in your purpose as it comes to your everyday life. I am going to do a segment really soon about passion, purpose, and goals, because they all different. But I can sit here confidently today and say that I am living and working in my purpose. I never dreamt none of this up. I've had some dreams, and the podcast came from a dream. But how I landed on these 2 feet, only God knows. Because it hasn't been easy. And these lessons are lessons for me. But you know what's more profound? The confirmation of that I need to be here. I told you guys earlier how the enemy is telling me, don't nobody want to hear that? It's you almost sounded repetitive, right? And then me hearing that voice back from God saying, no, they absolutely want to hear from you, right? But the other thing is, living in your assignment, you have to understand how to categorize the assignment versus the attachment. Because, again, those things we are attached to, at any moment they could detach. They can come up out of there. They can be done and over with. And that's not just people. That's circumstances as well. That's your employer. That's your mindset. When you start to work on your mindset and your inner self, you start to detach from those things you were once attached to. Those, I'm not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not well enough. You can't speak to those people. They don't want to hear from you. Right? We start to detach from anything that is just an attachment. But those things we are assigned to, and those things and the people that are assigned to us, it's not that easy. Out of a 28-year best friendship, me and my best friend have had one argument that took us apart. It took us apart for maybe a month. And that was way early on in our relationship when we had to learn each other. And I'll tell anybody in this world, behind God, the only person that knows me the most is my best friend. Not my children, not my family, not my friends. Like I have been ostracized and criticized and crucified for living in my truth almost my entire life. Oh, she's so happy. Is it a front? Oh, she's so bubbly. Is that really her? And I wanted to appease those people that I was attached to. I wanted to appease them so bad, but guess what appeasing them would do for me? It would shut me down, shut my emotions down, cut my assignment off, and then I wouldn't be here with you today. Do not ever lose sight of yourself in other people. I'll say that again. Do not ever lose sight of yourself in other people. I am here to tell you that I would not be here if I thought about anything and everything that people have done or said to me to shut and minimize the things inside of me as it relates to sharing my gifts with the world. Okay, let's read a few comments. So we have Isha saying that I only know the saying, it's either a lesson or a blessing, but some lessons become blessings. True enough, indeed. Sean says, do you feel like it can be an unhealthy attachment? Sean, anything that doesn't serve you is probably holds some weight of toxicity. And anything that's toxic is unhealthy for you. Imagine you going to or running to someone about being so excited about something. And when you get there, that excitement doesn't exist in their eyes, in their energy, in their words to you. That's nothing but unhealthiness. Growing up, I taught myself how to be less disappointed. Not completely how to wipe out complete disappointment, but how to be less disappointed in people. I stopped sharing. I stopped giving my stuff that I'm excited about to people that wouldn't reciprocate the excitement with me. And guess what that does for you? It allows you to celebrate oneself in the absence of the celebration from others that you want to be approved by. I graduated from high school, valedictorian of my high school class. I graduated from undergrad and graduate school, summa cum laude, and that's essentially still the top of my class. And I remember getting all A's semester after semester after semester after semester. And I would take those grades and I would put them on the shelf. But guess what else I did? I went out and I celebrated me. Even if I didn't mention anything to anybody, because if you are going to lack the excitement for my growth and for my aspirations and for my achievements, I might as well just, because I knew it was a big deal. And to not be celebrated, but always celebrating somebody. Let's not leave that out. To not be celebrated in instances where you should be, those people are probably not assigned to you. And it had just become habitual for me in that, people just didn't, I felt like after so long that those who was closest to me didn't care. And I'm not talking about everybody. I don't want to spew that type of misconception. But it was people close enough to me that I felt should have, that didn't. So it made me find a way to protect my feelings and my emotions in that, right? I would say it's not glorifying God. It's not my assignment. And if it's my attachment, it's pulling me away from God. You speaking, Evil? You speaking? Hey, Tina. Hey, my baby. How you doing? You are definitely speaking. But to your point, Sean, yes, attachments can be unhealthy. But you have to learn how to navigate it. And you have to learn how to institute those unhealthy situations into your life so that the big picture is always clear of everything that's around you, because we can't cut off our family. And it's hard to even cut off our friends, right? We cannot do that, right? We love them. We were born to them. We've been around them all our lives. So we can't just completely just detach from everything, but we do have to understand what the assignment is. And the assignment will become very clear. It will become so clear that nothing will ever be able to cloud up that judgment of your clear assignment on this earth, right? So, and I've been seeing Facebook for a while, but Instagram, I see y'all. Y'all don't never comment, but I see y'all waving and I see y'all love. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, we got any questions? We got anything you guys want to add to the discussion? All right, I'm about to hit y'all with a doozy. I think it's a doozy anyway, okay? We have to learn how to stop giving assignment energy to people who are temporarily attached to us. We have to stop giving that unpure, unsolicited, just in the purest form of assignment, you are the freest that you could be. And you have to know who to navigate that energy towards. Now, in my sense of being, I am going to exude my assignment towards anyone that I feel it can benefit. So I might be sometimes talking a little bit different because I do want us to understand that the things that I sit here and talk about is not always per se about family, or it's not per se about a certain situation or circumstance. It's the bigger picture, right? So though when I feel like I'm assigned to someone, I feel a sense of obligation. How many of you guys can put your hands up and say, do you feel a sense of obligation to those that you feel you have the healthiest connection to? You know what, Sean, I can't wait till you get up here for the 39ers, because I got something for you. Because, honey, you don't stop with the goodness. Sean is asking us, y'all, can an assignment be unhealthy? I want to give y'all a moment to answer that question, because I already got my answer. Can an assignment be unhealthy? Yes. Yep. Yes. Hey, Queen. Yes. So, and when I'm saying yes, guys, before I give my answer, I am reading yeses from the comment section, right? And then before I go into that, I got somebody telling me something about Jonah, and that's Bible, baby. So let's see what Isha's saying. Ibu says, Jonah had an assignment to preach to the people of Nineveh. Ruth had an attachment. Ooh, Isha. Jonah had an assignment to preach to the people of Nineveh. Ruth had an attachment to Naomi. Now, for those y'all that don't know the good book, y'all may not know what this means, but I'll make it real brief. Jonah was assigned to bring his people out of slavery, out of being out of lack, out of misery, right? So his assignment, no matter what the obstacles was, God said, you got to bring your people up out of Nineveh. We want them up out of there. They got to go, and it's you who going to bring them out, right? That's your assignment. But then she speaks about Ruth being attached to Naomi. Now, very briefly, Ruth is the only book in the Bible that is named after a woman. And it's one of the briefest stories in the Bible. And Ruth was married to Naomi's son. Naomi's son died. In fact, Ruth had two daughter-in-laws who were married to both of her sons, and both of her sons died. And Ruth was saying, Naomi was saying, my sweet babies, in Monique's voice. My sweet babies, y'all came, y'all married my sons, they are deceased. I'm going back to my native land. I'm going back to my native land, and y'all need to go on back with y'all families. And go on and get you another husband. Y'all don't got no kids. Gone on. Them boys are gone. So Naomi's other daughter-in-law, who's not Ruth, decided that she would go on back home with her family and pick up life there. But Ruth said, no way. I'm staying with you. I married your son, for better or worse. You are a widow. She literally lost her husband and her 2 sons. You are a widow yourself. You're an older lady. I'm younger. I'm going with you. And they went into a place that was unknown to them. They didn't know anything about it. And Ruth stuck by that woman. But Isha, let's go a step further. Ruth's attachment became her assignment. Let's be very clear. Because Ruth felt a sense of loyalty. Oh my God. Y'all know loyalty. Y'all know loyalty is only an attachment. It is not an assignment, because we can be loyal to anything and anybody. Let's be very, 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 very clear. So Ruth, I'm gonna hurry up and finish this story. You just got me excited, Isha. Ruth was attached to this woman because she was a young married woman, and then she became a young widow, and all she knew was this woman, so she was attached to her, and she had this sense of loyalty to her. But she moved her to a new land. And when they moved to this new land, they didn't know anybody. But she went out there every day working to put food on the table for her and Naomi. But while Ruth was out there one day, the king of the village spotted her. It was like, who is she? Put extra wheat in her bag. Put extra stock in her stuff. Don't make her work hard. Don't let her work these hard hours. And her attachment to her mother-in-law became her assignment to her life. She brought that woman with her. She married the king of that nation, meaning she became the queen, and she never forsaked that woman or that relationship. So though Ruth was attached to Naomi, Naomi became Ruth's assignment. See, I can talk about this all day long. And I'm not saying I'm a theologist, but I'm going to tell you, I know some of the best stories that is to be told. And in the Bible, that's one of my sources, right? If you ain't never picked it up, baby, it's one of the coldest books that you'll ever read. And read the Message Bible if you're just entering into it, so that it can give it to you in layman's terms. So that's good. Hey, boss chick, you give the people hope. You got to be faithful to your assignment. You got to be faithful to your assignment, not those you are attached to. Right? All right, we coming to a close, y'all. Y'all done made it good. Y'all done made it easy. All right, but not everybody that is assigned in your life are present. And when they're not present, that's when it triggers fear and rejection and insecurity and those inconsistencies and the lack of reciprocity. Someone who cares for you, someone who is assigned to you and you are assigned to, you have a sense of obligation. You shall not leave and you shall not forsake them. You shall stand in that gap with them, and even when the gap closes, you stand on that foundation of that love and that assignment, because people are here to either serve one another or to be a disservice to one another. And just because you are not assigned to me, that does not mean that you're not assigned to someone. But what it should trigger in me is that I detach from anything that is not my assignment, because it then becomes a distraction. You ever been so close to someone and then that closeness somehow dissipates, and then in the dissipation you feel weird around them? How am I feeling weird around you and I've been around you 34 years? Ain't no way. And I know we overuse words like, oh, it's weird and it's weird energy, but that is real. And if somebody got a better word to use, just drop it in the chat. Because ain't no way you done been my day one from A1 from day one. You done been my rock at some sort or some juncture. You have been my assignment and I have been yours to where that cuts off. Tasha, I'm gonna need you to drop something in the chat because we got a death row contract. She my assignment and I'm hers. I can hear her. I can hear every word she says to me. I can hear it. I can receive it. I'm not defensive. Because I know she needs me absolutely well. And I don't just say her. Because I have other people. I have my children. But I always pivot over there. Because that's my safe space. We talk about safe space all the time. That's my safe space. Okay, y'all. If you've ever cared about someone, ever, you have to learn that you can hold a place or not in a person's life in a way that is unfiltered. They can hear you, they can receive you, they can give you constructive criticism, and they can stand beside you. Because they will never have or see you stand alone. And that's attachment versus assignment, guys. I can go on and on, but I ain't going to do y'all like that. I am super excited about where we're going. Next week, we got a guest. I am not going to tell you guys who. I want to move to a place to where sometimes I can add you guys as guests, right? So not just your comments. You can literally come on the screen with me because you are my roommates. You guys make this so easy for me to do. You come back week after week, time after time. You let me know that this is where I'm supposed to be. You are part of the confirmation. And I cannot and don't want to do any of this without you. So I'm going to my closing statement, or my closing segment, I shall say. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you so much. Hey, sister. It's going to be simply put. Our closing segment is coming from what I will call a place of food for thought. And it goes like this. We do not have the privilege or the opportunity to choose how a person loves us. But what we do have is the opportunity to see how a person loves us, or is assigned to us, or attached to us. And we get the choice of whether or not we are willing to stay in that love, in that attachment, in that assignment, because you get the choice. Last but certainly not least, this is where I'm going to close us out at. Stop expecting people to love you, accept you, appreciate you, cherish you, acknowledge you, protect you the way that God does. Roommates, this has been another beautiful night for me. And I pray that it has been equally as beautiful for you. I thank you all. I appreciate you all. I love y'all, roommates. See y'all next week. Take care. Love you too, Sean. Good night.